NFL Hall of Famer Deion Sanders famously coined the phrase, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good. Today, athletes across all professional sports embody this mantra. But for many Milwaukee Bucks players, success comes from more than just practice and looks. In our Sunday morning spotlight, Pauline Lee introduces us to the Milwaukee man who helps players stay a cut above the rest, while creating a lasting impact that can be felt across the community.
There we go. Do my setup here.
There's no denying.
Everything look beautiful.
A fresh haircut can make anyone look and feel like $1,000,000.
Oh, it's looking good.
Kenneth Locke started cutting hair back when he was a kid.
Yes, you know, I started cutting hair when I was 10 years old. I'm serious. My mom used to cut my hair and I hated it.
So he started on himself first, and then his younger brother Eric, whose hair he's cut ever since.
So he's one of the reasons why I'm good today.
A professional barber with clippers for any unmanageable mane.
Hair texture, hair types.
And an eye for an even slice of the strands.
I just want to make sure like the fade look balanced on both sides and that the lining looks balanced on both sides.
His clients sometimes come to him.
So basically you take your barbershop with you.
Yeah.
And other times he makes house calls. But a lot of the shop talk these days, wherever he goes,
That's our time for sure.
is mainly about the Milwaukee Bucks.
We were down to Brooklyn. That was supposed to be the most dominant offense in the NBA. Who put them out? The Bucks. The Bucks.
A Bucks fan, born and raised, his support for the team goes beyond supporting the Goodland Green and the Cream City Cream.
I've been a barber for the Bucks since 2015.
It all started when Jared Dudley came to the Bucks and tweeted about a not-so-great haircut. A friend put him in touch.
And so I went to fix his haircut. So they called me back the next day, and I cut Kendall Marshall and Jabari Parker. And then they called me back the next week, and I cut Giannis and Chris Middleton. By the end of that season, the team was like, hey, you're cutting everybody's hair anyway, so do you want to be the barber? And I'm like, heck yeah. Like, I don't know any barber that's going to turn that down. Like, obviously, I want to be the barber.
A tall order in the land of giants.
When you first started this, like those first few cuts, because you're wondering, are they going to call me back? Right? And so you're nervous. You got to get the jitters out of your hands.
But it was also an opportunity for this barber to serve an even greater purpose.
Actually, in barber school, they teach you sometimes that, hey, you're kind of also like a therapist. Sometimes people just offload, hey, I'm dealing with this at work and I'm dealing with this. And that's their moment to really kind of just woosah, like let go, have a breather.
Fitting, because Barber Kenny is also Pastor Ken.
I've always been strong in my faith, you know, and so anytime I was around the guys, I never try to influence, but I'm very bold in what I believe and what I stand for. And so when they would ask me certain questions, I would say, hey, this is what I believe, this is what I believe. And we started sharing relationships just on the faith side.
The son of a pastor himself, he founded Evolve Church 3 years ago. And ever since, they've set up shop at Vincent High School in Milwaukee every weekend for Sunday service.
At that time, Malcolm Brogdon was a member of our church. He was one of the first players on the Bucks to join our church. Giannis started coming, Chris Middleton started coming, some of the other guys. And the team was kind of like, hey, you know, you're getting these guys to drive 30 minutes to a high school to come to church. You know, what are you doing? What are you saying? I'm like, I don't know. I wish I could tell you that there's no secret sauce. I mean, I just shared my faith in a passionate way. And that's when they offered the opportunity to become the chaplain. And once again, I was like, I would absolutely love to.
He's the youngest chaplain in the NBA and the first person to ever serve as both a chaplain and a barber.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It really is a blessing.
Both roles are important, but he says creating a space for spirituality in sports can be the seeds of success.
Essentially, once you get to the professional level, everybody's practicing and everybody's putting in the work and everybody's conditioning their body. So beyond that, it really is mind and spirit.
And professional athletes or not, maintaining harmony in mind, body, and spirit is the key to staying healthy.
You know, this is work for these guys. And I mean, they get paid handsomely, but at the end of the day, they are human beings who deal with the same things that you and I deal with. The same pressures, the same frustrations, the same thoughts. and sometimes so much greater pressures.
As the team's chaplain, he's there for all the home games.
We usually have our chapel session about an hour before the game starts. And then you ever notice that Giannis kind of gathers everybody center court after the game. And I'm always there, and that's usually the best time to serve them.
But as the Bucks continue their historic run into the NBA Finals and the pressure mounting, he always makes himself available at a moment's notice.
So you're always like on call
Yeah,
for a haircut or like, you know, just a chat.
Yeah, I'm always on call. I've been blessed to be the barber as well, so I get a chance to like double up. So we can have personal conversations and get a nice haircut or a nice fade at the same time.
I was going to say, does it happen in the chair?
We always killing two birds with one stone, you know what I mean?
His position as chaplain is unpaid.
Full volunteer, yep. It's something you got to do from the heart. But when I cut their hair, I still charge.
And if he had to choose between one or the other, it actually doesn't come down to splitting hairs.
Oh, no brainer. Pastor. I feel like being a pastor, I've affected more people in a shorter amount of time.
But now he says it's also time to make an even bigger impact. Aside from cutting the team's hair and a few select clients, he retired from barbering earlier this year and bought the former W-2 welfare agency building off 76th Street in Milwaukee.
So this wall is going to be gone, so all of this is going to be lobby area.
The plan is to take these bare bones
To take you this way so you can see.
and turn it into Evolve Church's new permanent home.
Stage is going to be over to the left
So every Sunday, people are going to gather here.
every single Sunday.
At 1,300 members and growing, this space will be transformed to offer mental health counseling and education and finance help for inner city families. But most importantly, this will be a place for kids.
Instead of Evolve Churches more, so this is our Evolve campus. There'll be after school tutoring and mentoring. There'll be a safe space for kids to come and hang out.
He doesn't plan on leaving his position as the Bucks barber and chaplain anytime soon.
For as long as he can.
As long as I can. Young fella looks pretty good.
Finding ways to blend both professions for a future that looks sharp, not only thanks to his work with the hometown team, but also the community it represents.
I'm a people person, I'm a servant, I serve people. Working with the community and seeing change on a citywide scale for me, it's like, once you taste it, it's like, there's no going back.
You'll find today's stories and those